Hello and welcome. We're at the annual meetings of the IMF in Bali. I'm Brian Kaplan, editor of The Banker. I'm with Ravi Menon, the Managing Director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and also the winner of our Central Bank Governor of the Year for Asia. So congratulations on that, Ravi. Thanks for joining me. Now at the meeting, the talk is all about international volatility. We've seen the stock markets globally fall over the last couple of days. How concerned are you from a place like Singapore, where it's a very open economy and you have to protect yourself against that kind of volatility?
Yes. Well, first, Brian, thank you very much for the recognition. I think it's really good that the banker is doing this. Volatility, well, that's a fact of life in financial markets and global markets, and I think we need to look at these things in perspective. The broader volatility that I think people refer to has to do with the outflow of capital from emerging market economies. And this is in the context of US monetary policy normalization. And this is something to be expected. It is a reflow of capital back into the advanced economies, particularly the US, following a period of capital inflows in the other direction during a period of very low interest rates. So this is to be expected. This is rebalancing of asset portfolios. If it takes place in an orderly manner, I think is not something to be concerned about. The danger, of course, is that markets move in spurts. And
it can be quite painful in short bursts.
In short bursts, exactly. So that's what we are watching out closely for. So it's not so much the outflow of capital, but how concentrated it is and what it does. Does it lead to excessive exchange rate movements? At least in this part of the world, in Asia, I can say that the economies are well prepared for this. Why? First, the fundamentals are sound, the economic fundamentals. Growth is good, running at about 5% per annum on average across ASEAN countries. Inflation is well under control. Current account balances are reasonably good. Some of the countries are in surpluses. Where there are deficits, they are small and ought to be manageable. Very importantly, fiscal deficits are under control. So if you look at a range of macro indicators, they're in a good shape.
And it seems that Asia's learned quite a lot from past crisis, first of all, the Asian financial crisis, and then the last financial crisis in 2008. And the fundamentals are much better as a result of that.
Yes, indeed. That was some of the major lessons learned from the Asian financial crisis, to make sure that you build up enough buffers. So buffers in Asia are much stronger today. If you look at reserve positions, foreign exchange reserve positions, in almost all the economies, it's in excess of short-term external liabilities. And that puts you in a very good spot. Second, capital buffers in the banking system, also very healthy, most of them meeting Basel III requirements. Third, flexible exchange rates. A key problem in the Asian financial crisis was that exchange rates were fixed. And now exchange rates are actually adjusting downwards. So what you're seeing is a combination of sound fundamentals, judicious policies, and the policy buffers in case things get even worse. There are fiscal buffers, and there are capital buffers in the banks, and there are reserve buffers on the central bank balance sheets. So all in a pretty decent place to ride this through. But with markets, you can never say never, and so we need to be watchful that things do not get out of control.
Okay, so cautiously optimistic there. Let's turn to the whole area of fintech, because at the meeting we've had the Bali Fintech Agenda launched, which is basically a sort of 20 policy ideas around which regulators should be looking in order to regulate their fintech sectors. And you've done a lot of work on that in Singapore, haven't you? How timely is this document, and how helpful do you think it will be for governments in managing their fintech sectors?
No, I think this is a useful advance, and I think it puts together the thinking and consensus that has been growing over the last couple of years on fintech regulation. This is not the final word. I think we're still learning, but I think many of the principles set out there are very useful. From our own perspective, the attitude we take is that we need to get innovation right, to get fintech right, you need to get regulation right. There's tremendous potential for benefits, which if harnessed well, can, I think, substantially improve economic growth and also financial stability at the same time. So we need to do this in a way that addresses, that keeps the risks under control.
And one key thing, of course, is encouraging innovation. And how have you done that in Singapore?
Well, first, I think regulation should keep close track of, but not front-run innovation. A lot of stuff that is going on is new. We need to watch how it evolves. And I think they are still small, and so we don't need to get excessively alarmed and try to slap on new rules. You take blockchains, for instance. The standards are evolving, the protocols are evolving, the technology is still nascent. It's still at proof of concept stage, in some cases pilots.
Yeah.
So it's not scaled up yet. So there's no need for regulation on that front. In other areas, we do need to have regulation because the activities that the fintechs are carrying out, the underlying activity is the same. There, I think the approach is to be technology neutral with respect to the activity, but be alert to technology-specific risks. You take robo-advisors, it's basically the preferring of financial advice. So there, the activity is the same and it needs to be regulated the same way. But there are some technology-specific risks we need to take care of. And so the fit and proper rules don't apply to a machine, but a machine can go wrong, and so you need some controls from the algorithms. So that's how you adapt your regulation.
Okay. Ravi Menon, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, and once again, congratulations on being our Asian Central Bank Governor of the Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you.